Okay, so I was going to start off with potions again, and there's something called that everybody gets is a potion of life, not a healing potion, it's a potion of life. And when a hero falls to 0 health, this potion brings him back to 3 hit points. So the concept here is that this is not really a role-playing game. It is a dungeon crawl. But really, I mean, it's got all the essence of a good role-playing game. Like, it's got all the essence of a good old-school role-playing game. If you run through these rules, which I picked up on RPG Now, they're just fantastic. I mean, it's simple. Both games have a lot in common. They're simple. You can role play. You don't have to role play. I tell you something, I don't see much difference between the two. You could easily hawk this as a role-playing game. You've got skills or feats, and you've got classes, and you've got races. But I'm digressing. So I'm going to go back to the potions. There's 2 kinds of potions. There's potion shots and augmentation potions. Potion shots, you can take as many as you want. There's no usage limit, and the effects are cumulative. And then there's augmentation potions. These you can only take only 1 of each per turn. So you have, for example, you've got a magic brew, and that adds +2 automatic successes, and you've got quick brew. So you could take a magic brew and a quick brew, but you can't take both. Only 1 of each per turn. So, between adventures, you can go and buy potions, so forth and so on. We talked a little bit about combat. We talked a little about spells. So then we can talk now a little bit about the other things that make this a decent dungeon crawl. And that is multiple characters. I've made up 3 characters. Sparky the Ears, he's an elf. Little Bane, he's a dwarf. He's a barbarian. And then finally we've got Sticky Fingers the Rogue. Sticky Fingers, great Rolling Stone album. So, rogues are pretty clever during exploration. Corridors can have traps and secret doors, but only a rogue can search for treasure in halls. So there are some rules for every character being able to search for a trap. You'll have to look those rules up because this game is copyrighted. I can't tell everything, but I could certainly help out. Weapon and armor, as I spoke before in the other video, the first video. Weapons and armor are controlled by your player level. So you can not come out with, +3 Dragon Slayer on at level 1. I think you're only available to purchase or obtain the first 6 weapons. Weapons and armor can be traded to other players on that player's turn. So if it's my turn, Mr. Elf has got a great dagger that he wants to give to the rogue. He can, but it has to be on the elf's turn, or the receiver's turn. During combat, trading is 1 piece per action. Now, I don't remember if I covered treasure, but if at the end of a combat you can search. Each player gets 1 die for a search at the end of a combat. End of a combat is when all the monsters have been killed. So we're in here. These are dead. So I've got all 4 characters are going to search. They don't even have to declare where they're searching. There is an exception to that. So all 4 characters are going to search. On a 6, they find something. So, Lucky Day, the wizard, who's got all the attention, has been has got a 6. So he can make a draw from the treasure deck. Oh, look at that. Oh, snap, you found some useful crap. Roll a die on the chart appropriate for the dungeon level, blah, blah, blah. Level 0 to 2, that's where we are. You get a blanket or a torch or chalk, rope, hammer, or dagger. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. We're all happy. So one thing I found out is that cash is a little hard to come by in this game. So now there's another rule that says if you happen to find a treasure, you can roll a d6, and if it comes up as 6 again, you found an artifact. Nope, no artifact this time. Artifacts are pretty cool. That reminds me, there's something called guilds in this game, which is really something that other games are lacking. Out of the box D&D, there were no guilds unless your DM has really thought things out. So we'll talk about guilds in a little while. Anybody can join a guild. Now, let's see, movement and coverant, movement, minimum 1 skill. Right, so if you have heavy armor, your movement gets adjusted down. On a combat, DM gets, if the DM has a surprise, there's no surprise roll like in D&D. He just says, hey, surprise. Then he automatically gets the initiative. He grabs the initiative card for himself. Hey, give me that. All right. So attacking again was number of dice attacking versus number of dice defending, and successes cancel each other out. So there we go. This guy got 1 attack success, 1 defense success, cancel each other out. So let's see. There's a ton of actions that the hero can take. He can do a melee attack. He can move and attack, or attack and move. Cast a spell, search for traps, disarm a trap. A hero can... any hero with trap kit can disarm a trap on a roll of 6. So he needs to have that trap kit. If he doesn't, it's all up to the rogue. The rogue has a base of 5 or better to disarm a trap. Every time you disarm a trap, you get an experience point. Woo! So what's one thing about this game, experience points, I think you need, well, I don't have it here, but you need 50 experience points to go up a level. And it's 1 experience points per creature. Some people have changed that because going up is a little slow, because then you'd have to kill 80 creatures in one night to go up one, not 80, you'd have to kill 50 times 4, 200 creatures in one night is just ridiculous. Maybe it's a little less because some creatures have more experience points. I think another guy came up with a really good formula somewhere in the Board Game Geek forum, and it's fun. So let's see, you could pick locks. It's in the rules there. You could pick locks. You could bash chests or doors. You could switch equipment, open a door. Now you can open a door as part of a move action. You can jump, and you can use adrenaline. Adrenaline is very important, so I wanted to cover that. You can spend some of your adrenaline to pump up your attack dice, your defense dice, so forth and so on. You can even use 3 adrenaline as a revival potion, as a life potion. You have to have it left when you croak off. So that is a lot of the game. I'm leaving out the details for traps and disarm traps because I don't want to spoil it for you. Making up characters is a lot of fun. If you happen to print out the rules, there's an addendum, a correction to one of the classes. I forget which one it was. I think it's the rogue. In your skills, you have human skills. Here we go. So at every other level, even levels, you get to buy one of these. You get one of these for free. Some of them have level requirements, but here's one. Adrenaline Rush. He gains back 1 adrenaline for each monster he kills. That's pretty cool. So it's an interesting mechanic because it adds some heroics that D&D Basic is missing, and D&D is fun. So now you can get class or race skills. So we'll leave that alone. So then, there's one thing I wanted to mention before I go, and that was adventure guilds. This is so much fun. It says here, I would let players start out with an adventurer guild. The adventurer guilds can be found scattered throughout Old Earth in settlements everywhere. Basically, you join a guild, and for obtaining certain ranks, and that is for doing certain things, then you get maybe a lower level artifacts and or so forth and so on. So here's a Woven Brotherhood. There's the Woven Brotherhood, and there's the Giant Slayers, and so forth and so on. You got artifacts. Artifacts come in per. You have to have. You can't be over a certain. Artifacts can be used by certain levels, by a certain level. It's not always the truth. Sometimes the artifacts have no levels. There is random treasure charts. There is a campaign system, a lot of fun. And here's the artifacts page again. There's the armory. You'll see in the armory that they list what level your item can be used at. So here it says daggers are first level, offhand daggers fourth level. So that would actually add another damage die. Here's one, the Great War Axe, level 12, and that gives you an extra 5 dice, which is if you're a wizard and you can handle the encumbrance, you don't need the skill to do it. If you're a wizard and you can handle the encumbrance, you don't need the skill. You just roll your 5 dice. So you've gone from 1 die as a wizard with your little dagger at level 12. You can do 5 dice. Isn't that exciting? So let's see, potions. Going through the book, there's oh yeah. So one thing that I left out was character sheets. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, somewhere in the sorry for the there we go. Right. So one of the things that you'll see in the weapons section is adjacent. See that? Adjacent diagonal. So that means that your weapon will dictate whether you can attack diagonally or orthogonally. So that's one thing about combat in this game, is monsters and people can only attack orthogonally. Some already have that they can attack. So some monsters can attack diagonally. That's not an issue. So we're going to go here. We got here. You've got a rogue. He's going to attack straight forward. This paladin, this fighter, or whatever he is, cannot attack diagonally unless he's got a reach weapon or something on his character sheet that says he can attack it. He's going to have to move. He can move anywhere. There's no attack of opportunity. None of that nonsense in this game. So that's what's covered: adjacent and diagonals, armor. We've got a great bestiary in the book. And the campaign book is just out of this world. This game has, as I said before, it's got its roots in HeroQuest, but it's really closer to D&D than HeroQuest. It's got HeroQuest mechanics, but it's just phenomenal. Listen, I think if you're going to spend $15, you're going to get all your money's worth. This is a great game. It's got great components, and I think you'll like it a lot. You can catch me through my Google Plus name, and that's about it for today.